After being abducted by a child killer and locked in a soundproof basement, a 13-year-old boy, Finney, starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims. This movie is a slow-burn horror movie that tries to combine realism with supernatural force. Unfortunately, despite a good effort, the result feels really lacking. There are basically two storylines, the previous victims calling Finney inside the basement, and Finney's sister Gwen, who's looking for her brother outside the basement. These two plot lines play out in parallel without ever truly intersecting, and it's easily possible for the movie to scrap the Gwen's pursuit of her brother plot without losing any of its narrative trajectory or outcome. The script basically has plenty of unnecessary subplots, from Gwen who's attempting to use her dreams to find her sibling. There are also two local detectives doing the investigation, and the grabber's brother Max, who's oblivious to the fact that his own brother is behind them. The movie doesn't develop these supporting characters so much as it toggles between them, repeatedly hitting the same plot beats. The subplot about Max feels totally unnecessary as it involves some misplaced comedy and undermines the idea that the grabber could operate in plain sight. The movie is good enough to build tone and atmosphere, but it doesn't always know what to do once they are in place. The filmmaker's inability to deepen any idea beyond its initial conception is most annoying in their handling of the black telephone. Scenes involving Finney talking to different victims over the phone become repetitive after a while. The dead kids who appear to Finney in his room provide a few cheap jump scares as they pop up out of the shadows. Unfortunately, it's a case of jolting moments that disappear from the mind almost as soon as they've occurred. These random jump scares and awkwardly misplaced supernatural elements related to the victims do not have the scares factor they're supposed to. The movie has one truly fascinating element, which is the grabber himself. Unfortunately, he's kinda sidelined. The choice to so frequently steer the film away from its own villain is baffling, especially when the places it does go are only occasionally compelling. The filmmakers probably thought that the element of fear of the unknown is incorporated into his character. The problem is, this approach makes the grabber comes across as a weak antagonist. He makes his occasional basement visits wearing a creepy mask, saying creepy things, but it's still just two people talking in a basement. No matter how hard he tries to look menacing or sounds creepy the whole time, his character is hardly scary and frightening. There's also potentially rich dynamic between the grabber and the kid. Unfortunately, the movie is totally uninterested in exploring it. Overall, this movie is quite underwhelming. It's not bad, it's just not really worth to see this in theaters. Just wait on your streaming service.